You know, people all the time talk about how they're going to reset their life. I'm going to reset my life. I'm going to start over. I'm going to reset my life. I'm going to get my life in order. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do all this stuff. Either where I'm changing my health and I'm going to get my health in order, or I'm going to change my finances. I'm going to get my finances in order. I'm going to change my career. I'm going to get my career in order. I'm going to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to change because I'm so tired of the life that I've been living, of what I've been getting in life. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I've been following this program and that program, and you reach out and you grab, and none of these things are seeming to working for you. So you ask, how do you change your life and then polarize yourself so that you keep to the positive end of the scale? And that's what I'm going to teach you today. So if you're watching this on Instagram, you're only getting this part. So you got to come on over to YouTube, all my Instagrammers, so you can get the entire thing. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your coach Renz, and I want to thank everybody for joining me, especially all my people on Patreon, those who support by ordering from Uncle Renz Popcorn, all my coaching clients. And yes, one of my coaching clients, this is going to sound familiar because it's part of our conversation that we had this morning. But I want to share some of that stuff with you guys today so that you can start to move your life into the direction that you truly desire to have. And I know that sounds kind of like a cliche thing to say, that the life you desire or the life you deserve to have, but it's a true statement. You deserve a certain life. It's just you haven't opened yourself up to your true power. And I want to teach you guys that today. So if you find me for the first time, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and then hit the bell icon. That supports and grows the channel, and I greatly appreciate that because most of my things drop on YouTube. So I had multiple conversations this morning, multiple coaching sessions, and there was a similar line that both of them had in, a similar point, and that is that, actually I say three, all three had, that they had to reset themselves in order to move to their next level, to transmute their energy, transmute their body, transmute their mind, transmute their finances into the next phase, to be able to shake off the old and the dead body, the old and the dead skin, so to speak, and move into a positive, more positive transmutation of who they are becoming, to go to truly pharaoh themselves, which pharaoh means that which you are to become. So in that, I want to teach you guys a little bit of the information that I gave to them in order for you to start moving forward and transmuting your energy, transmuting your life, transmuting your action, your activities, your mindset into the next stage, the next development of your life. And best believe this is something that I have done for myself several times, that I currently do for myself right now. So this is not me speaking in just theory, but this is me speaking in practical application of what I've done with myself and what I've seen other clients of mine have done, and people I've studied. So what's the first issue? The first issue is that most people are stuck in pretty much a rut. If you saw my video on verse 7 of the Tao, I talked about getting into the flow of things. In verse 8, we're going to talk about water and how water flows and being like water. But right now, we did verse 7 in between those two. So in verse 7, it talked about getting into the flow of the Tao, getting into the flow of the way of the universe by moving how the universe moves. To give you an example, in the real estate industry, back when the bubble had burst, if you're old enough to have remembered when the bubble burst on the housing market, what you had was you had all these people run into the housing market, and they were becoming real estate agents, becoming brokers, becoming investors. They was like jumping into all facets of real estate, and people initially were making money from like 96, 95, 96 all the way up to the early 2000s. People were making money, right? But then if you've seen that movie The Big Short, all those loans that they were putting out there, although they all came crashing down, and people lost houses, people lost their careers. People who had jumped out of one career to jump into real estate they lost in that career. But all the market really did was a reset. The market just reset. The market had inflated itself into an unfathomable point, and then the market had to reset. And when the market reset, you saw multiple things happen. You saw people who got involved into loans and mortgages that they truly couldn't afford lose, because when it reset, they couldn't afford it. You saw real estate people involved in the real estate industry who weren't true salespeople, who weren't true entrepreneurs, lose because they weren't true entrepreneurs. They didn't go to the flow of the money, or the flow of where real estate went, and they lost. They lost their business, lost their homes, lost their finances, because the market reset and got back into the normal flow, the natural flow of the universe, the natural flow of the housing market. So when that happened, those people lose out. And that's the key. The ones who won were the ones who were able to adjust, the ones who just moved into the flow. At that time frame, I was working with an intelligent individual named Michael Fleming, and we was working with other real estate agents and real estate boards and things like that, showing them where the market was correcting and how they could take advantage of this market correction and be able to not only maintain, but to actually grow. And because they listened, well, some of them listened, they actually made more money during the market correction that went on for about 7 years. They made more money during that market correction than they did in the whole housing bubble. Why? Because they got into the flow. They was able to reset their thinking, reset their actions, and then polarize themselves to the far end, to stay there, to stay on the far end. So when the swing of the bubble burst started going, whereas most people swung all the way back, these people who actually got into flow only swung a little bit and then figured out where the market corrected and where the money was at, and they swung back over. And now they know how to do that. Every time the market changes, the market doesn't stay the same. Every time it changes, they see the change and they see their things falling off, and they know how to correct and go with the flow of energy of the market. And that's how we change that. We do this in every aspect of our life. And how do we do it? One, I would say the first thing is you have to find clarity. Clarity in your mind. Being able to meditate. Meditation is a huge proponent of finding clarity. It's not about your religion. It's not about your customs. It's not about your culture. It's not about your family or anything like that. It's just about getting centered. It's just about being able to quiet everything down, quiet down the noise so that your mind can then focus on the realities of what's there. Understanding the trivium. That's the next part. Meditating without knowing the trivium is good. You can still acquire and do a lot, but when you understand trivium, you can then meditate and move in a way that actually benefits you. And what is the trivium? The trivium is the knowledge of facts, plus understanding of the facts, and then putting them into practice. It develops into wisdom, and then being able to go back to understanding of the facts if the wisdom is not producing the results that you desire. So it's that whole system: facts, understand the facts, wisdom of the facts in action, review them, go back to understanding if you're not getting your results, or when things change, go back to understanding and move back forward in your results. When you have that kind of a mental state, your brain will automatically start correcting for you before you even know it. You'll be just watching the news or watching your industry, reading articles or something like that, and you will see the market beginning to correct, and your brain will automatically reorganize the facts and then put you into a new state of wisdom, a new state of action. And that is what changes your vibration and changes how you move, changes your movement. So if you can understand what I'm saying, when you go facts, understanding, wisdom, and then meditate, learn how to clear your mind and focus so that those facts, understanding, wisdom become clear, it gives you clarity. It gives you clarity. And when you have that clarity, you're able to do what most people can't, and that is polarize themselves to one side of the scale. To one side of the scale. If the scale is your health, you can polarize yourself so that your weight doesn't fluctuate too much. If it's relationship, you can polarize your relationship so that it doesn't fluctuate too much. You can polarize your money if you understand how to manage your money and then manage your career so that you don't fluctuate too much. That way, you always stay to the positive side, to the good side, and you don't fall to the far left. So that's how we manage this, and that is how we make it so that your finances continually increase. So if I can be a help to you, please don't hesitate to contact me at Coach Renz, and we can move forward in doing this, as well as continue to support the channel through Uncle Renz Popcorn, and then just take this information and just run with it. Just run with it. And if you would like to support the channel as a patron, I appreciate that one. But all those things can be yours, and trust me, I am about to do a reset of my own in certain areas, especially in this area. So we're resetting always. It's always a reset. So y'all have a great day, and remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon.